The reason why I have taken you up on that is
But
because, just a moment,
yes,
it's
okay.
because you have mentioned them as part of the achievements. I'm just still trying to bring up some of the challenges, because while we're mentioning achievements, we should be able to look critically at these achievements that are being mentioned. You also talked about the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, and a lot of travelers will tell you that the experience has been less than sterling, or at the international airport, and I'm sure that you will agree with them in terms of the experiences at the airport. Currently, we know that some construction for the car park is being done, but people will tell you that the experiences as it stands currently is less than what it should be in terms of even accessing the temporary car park that has been put in place. They do fear that some factors concerning security haven't been taken into consideration, and even the remodeling that was done at the Murtala Mohammed Airport was not as good as it ought to have been done.
Have they completed it? It has not been. It's not been completed. It's ongoing, and when you have a structure ongoing, these inconveniences will be experienced. We are waiting for an opportunity for the completion of the renewed airport and all the structures that have been put in place. And most times, Nigerians are advised to be patient, and so that these things can be done as quickly as possible, so that they can begin to enjoy modern infrastructure. This thing has been in decay for decades, and now if you're working on it, these things are bound to be experienced. And another thing I was trying to explain is the fact that if there is a growth in population and without the attendant infrastructural provision, which both the state government, the local government, and the federal government have responsibility, the three of them must be held accountable. The problem I have in this circumstance is the fact that most of the time it's the federal government that you put on the line, while excusing most of the time the not too or opt performance of the local government and the states. And let me explain another thing in terms of this infrastructural development. You remember the metro line during Jakonde? If the metro line were to have been built, today wouldn't have been like that. General Mohammed Buhari stopped it and paid a fine of about over 600 million US dollars to the Indians that were constructing, or the Chinese or Indians that were constructing this metro line. So what the expectation is the fact that this development eluded us because of very poor policy. And now that somebody woke up within the last 4 years to say, let's begin this journey together, the best we can do, the least we can do for him is to cooperate, support, and ensure that these things are done. In many areas, why we came to town and why we selected Lagos State is the fact in many areas, the BDP, the government, the PDP-led government has been able to take a look at where we were.
Okay, we'll still come to that in a bit, hoping we'll have time for that. But all of what you said, in terms of the president's achievement, don't you think...
I've not even said it because I've not been
the ones you've said so far.
I have others that I can actually put on the table.
All right, don't you think that the state of security in the country is a big minus and will overshadow all that you say he's done?
Thank you very much. I was watching CNN this morning, and the first caption is French politicians, rallied against terrorism. I think that's exactly what we Nigerians must recognize. French politicians of all divides. The issue of security is the responsibility of every Nigerian. APC, PDP, ABC, any person that is within and without a Nigerian must be worried about our security. And within the last few years, we've seen a lot of improvement. This took us by surprise, I must let you know. Because we used to, I lived in America for over 10 years, and most of the times we joke when people select sports, Nigerians avoid, risk sports, not to talk of putting something around yourself to destroy another.
Pardon me to jump in again.
It is not the part of our culture. So the issue of security, and I know that those that are saddled with the responsibility of providing security are doing their utmost looking at these issues.
How do we explain that how many years on, we've not been able to name who are the sponsors to these people? Because the government said they were going to name the names. We didn't get any names. We've not found out how, and we're talking about funding our military. So all this challenge that keeps popping up time and again, you don't think people will be frustrated with all of those?
The issue of security is best managed and handled that by those that are saddled with that responsibility. You and I cannot afford a guess over something that affects our lives. And all I can tell you, what I've seen clearly, is the re-equipping of the police and the army, recruiting and providing quality training to ensure that these challenges are met, and ensuring that our people out there, is something that's happening in Nigeria that is very uncommon. The communities themselves are beginning to see the challenge that terror poses, and they have taken upon themselves. You have this joint task force between the communities and the military, trying to rout out these people. And many of them left town, only to return. And you can see their viciousness. Their viciousness is the fact that people have resented them, they have identified their faces, and they have said, no, you cannot live in our community, and they've been sent packing. And most times when they return, you see, it's not a conventional war. If it's going to convert to that, it's just gradually going to do that. And remember, if the federal government did not take caution in ensuring that these things are isolated and dealt with, it's going to create a lot of human crisis. Already internally displaced people are mounting, and there are certain challenges. It's the greatest thing that a commander in war must avoid is to ensure that innocent citizens are mowed down in the process of just trying to cleanse the
With the president
society.
campaign in the Northeast.
Yes. With the president campaign in the Northeast, it's the caution that the federal government provided that has actually mitigated the untold human hardship that must have arisen from it. I know this because I have been there myself. I've been to Yola. I've been to all these, fronts, and I discover the challenges, and many of us don't really know the exact thing going on out there.
You've been to Yola and where else?
I've been to Bama too, and I've been to
Damaturu, that's in
Bama, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I've been there, and I've seen what people do, how much they suffer, and the willingness, the strong heart with which they are supporting the federal government to fight this war.
In Mr. President's campaign program and team, but good thing he's coming to Lagos, and they say promises are meant to be kept and not broken.
Absolutely.
And when you get off the plane, getting off the airport, the road, 4 years ago, even the governor of Lagos State had to remind Lagosians that the president promised to fix that road.
Yes.
4 years.
Yes.
He will land and go through that road again unfixed. How will that pan out when he speaks to the people of Lagos State? I just told you, it is not because of this campaign that that road was awarded. It is part of the holistic approach into ensuring that Murtala Muhammad International Airport is rebranded and restructured to meet. Yes, that's exactly what we're saying. The road is being awarded, and it has nothing to do with this campaign. It is a proactive. We should ask the right questions, because we need answers. It shouldn't take us 4 years.
You need answers, and that's why.
Yes, I'm asking again. Must it take us 4 years for it to be awarded, and we still haven't seen anything done 4 years down the line?
Resources are not it's not limitless to the point that everything must be done at the same time. So if this one comes within this framework, certain repairs have taken place on that road before the new phase that you're seeing at the Murtala Airport. Even if not completed,
if I have the chance to ask the president, I'll be asking him these questions.
You will have the chance.
Because he got loads of votes here in Lagos.
Yes.
He promised them.
Yes.
Amongst other things, that road.
Yes.
Until now, it hasn't been fixed.
My take on that, I have explained to you. He promised them. He delivered on promise. That road has been awarded. They have done a lot of engineering. They have done a lot of engineering. They've done a lot of work in terms of coming up with the technical, the drawings, and the drawings, and ensuring that all that is required in terms of putting the road as one of the best showcase of the entire Nigerian nation is put in place. If he's been able to get to that level, why can't you allow him to complete what he has started?
For a lot of Lagosians, where was Lagos as a priority in terms of, how the federal government ran its administration? Was Lagos a priority for the federal government?
If Lagos is not a priority for the federal government,
yes.
He said so, and you heard him. The president promised that that road will be fixed.
Well, his question... just a moment. Okay. The question was that,
yes.
The road has just been awarded 4 years after the president...
Not just been awarded.
My point is,
yes.
It hasn't been fixed, has it?
Yes.
It's just been awarded.
Work will commence on it.
Work is yet to commence on it, right?
Has commenced on it. Because what you see about roads, I'm not an engineer, before you begin to see movement of caterpillars, I'm sure engineers must have been there, the road design must have been completed, a lot of other things must have come into it, the budget must have been fixed, the money must have been sought, the money must have been secured, and mobilization will be paid, and then you can see actions have gone on.
You really believe that attention has been paid enough to Lagosians for Lagosians to, key into the president's transformation agenda?
Absolutely. If not at this moment, certain things are already in place that can actually make the Lagosians benefit what is going on.
All right, well,
are you telling us that they have not benefited from this 24-hour port operation? Have they not benefited from the educational system that the 12 new universities has been provided for Nigerians? Because every Nigerian can attend any university anywhere. They've not benefited from, the health, improved health sector, agriculture. They've not benefited from, the improved economy. Nigeria has 6 to 7% growth rate. We have a rebased economy that is averaging a GDP of 510 billion.
Are these universities working already? We speak as if they've been built and they've been commissioned.
Some of them are functioning. They are functioning. I cannot tell you the details of the number at this
winding
moment.
down now, I mean, does the PDP tell their supporters to ensure that they get into this election deliberately restraining from violent conduct?
The president is known for his humility, for his peaceful demeanor, and for his non-violent act. And this is the first time you have a president that has not put anybody in jail for any form of expression of their, freedom, human right freedom. And that's the reason why we are slightly different. We want to fight this election on the basis of facts, on the ground, and what the president is able to accomplish. If the time allows us, we could have gone into agriculture. We have grown into water project. Between 2009 and now, our potable water provision rose from 57% to 68%. Our sanitation moved from 47% to over 60%.
That's why people are asking for a debate. Will the president participate in a nationally
televised debate? He would be excited to do
debate?
so. This presidential election cannot be complete without a debate. How are you going to... The president must tell the world what he's been able to do within the last 4 years. I'm not even competent to tell as much as what he's been able to do. If time permits me, I'll sit here for over hours.
There's really no time, and we're closing out.
Yes.
So can you, in 10 seconds or 15, rate the government on the fight against corruption?
Has not been a greater attempt at it. Transparency International gave you the figures, 8 points up in terms of index of perception of corruption. We're doing far well. You've seen that demolition in the fertilizers, fertilizer scam. We've seen the fact that this president himself, dealt with the issue of subsidy to this level. So corruption is something that every Nigerian must equally fight. This morning when I woke and I was coming to this place, somebody said it was going to take me 25,000. I said, where are we going? He said, it will take me 2 hours to get to Channels. I paid just 7,000. The guy is corrupt. So corruption is not the face of government alone, no federal, state, or local government. We individuals too must be able to support the government to do so. But I can tell you, he has committed himself to this. And if international bodies have seen what he's been able to do, we too must be able to latch into that and begin to support what the president is doing in that direction.
Okay, that's how much we've got time for. Dr. Eddie Olafeso is a member, Presidential Campaign Committee on Planning, Research and Strategy. Thank you for coming on this morning.
I'm glad. Looking forward to be here again.
All right, and we'll be back after the break. Don't go away.